What is up? Excuse me. It's a way to start a video. What is up, Misfits and Moonbasers? It's your boy Ray Recall again with another video review. And as in line with the theme for January, we have another Waspy boy coming in. So today we're going to be looking at the Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Waspinator. Yep. Now, as you can probably tell, this is not the original coloration for the Transmetal Waspinator, which had a more, to be honest, it kind of had the same color scheme as Energon, Transformers Energon Starscream. But no, this is the Fox Kids repaint, and I'm using this one as the review because it's the one that's actually intact that I own. Yeah, and so, but it's the exact same figure, just with a different paint deco. So, as you can see, it doesn't really have a lot of stability in the leg department, but it's still pretty good. Especially for its time, it was really, what's the word? It was really advanced figure for its time, but the question is, how does it hold up now? Well, let's get into that. So, first we're going to take a look at the paint deco. Once again, this is the one that was the Fox Kids repaint, because apparently Beast Wars was on Fox Kids in the year 2000 when this was released. Wish I had known that. I would have liked to have seen it. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, and it has a more traditional Wasp paint scheme, except for the toxic green for the wings and certain other kibble. But, yeah, in this mode, articulation is pretty good. Believe it or not, it's got opening mandibles, which are individually jointed. Nothing really at the head. Each of the front legs has on a ball joint here and a ball joint here, so you get a lot of range of movement. I'm not sure if it's just because of how old the figure is, but the bug legs cannot hold his weight, unfortunately. So he's just kind of sprawled out there. The back legs have a ball joint here, rotation here, hinge, and a hinge. But as I said before, it's not enough to hold up his weight. They're really just more for show. And then finally, the last bit of articulation is the wings. These front wings can flap up and down as well as move back on this hinge. And then these ball jointed wings back here are on a, well, ball joint. So you got a lot of range of movement with that. The splayed wing look is pretty cool. Unfortunately, these back wings don't really fold up, so the wings are always kind of out. But that's okay. It still looks good. So for comparison, well, why not? Why not bring him in? Here he is with the last review, Little Waspinator. Here he is with a modern deluxe class figure. So he's got a lot of mass on him. He is pretty heavy for the figure that he is, but his size is pretty big. And then, just as another reference there, is with Voyager Starscream. He's got a lot less weight in him than Voyager Starscream. So he's about a deluxe plus size, I guess, if you would have to use the modern scale. I know that Beast Wars had a different scale, so. Okay, now, being a transmetal, unlike how he was in the show, Waspinator was actually never a transmetal, never had a transmetal form in the show, but the figure does. So what it does is, there's a lot of ways that you can do this, a lot of ways that you can finagle the insect legs, so I'll just leave those for last. What you want to do is you want to take these back wings, rotate them at the ball joint 180, and then bring, using this hinge right here, the strut, bring them back, and just kind of angle them backwards, kind of like so. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then come up to the front wings, open this hinge, fold that up, and then make sure these wings are flat, fold them back. So 1 and 2. And they don't really peg in anywhere, they just kind of sit there. Now the front, you take this section down here, lift that all the way up and out. The jaws, the mandibles will open in to accommodate. And then using this hinge assembly right here, you want to bring up the bug head so that the cockpit is facing forward and these antennae are now forward facing guns. And then, as like I said before, with the bug legs, you can do whatever you want with them. I tend to just kind of have them. Here, let me see if I can. And there we go. That's about the approximation I have them in. And now you have Waspinator in. It's not so much a beast mode as it is just a fast travel mode, I guess you could say. Or not a vehicle mode, but a fast travel mode. But yeah, so there he is. Waspinator in his jet mode. His little thrusters in the back. His F-22 wings. And it's funny because it didn't strike me until years later when I rewatched the cartoon. It fits that he would be a jet mode because he was possessed by a Starscream at one point. And I think there was even a official comic or something like that. It was like an offshoot or something where they never exorcised Starscream's ghost from Waspinator. And so whenever he became a Transmetal, he actually took on the form because that was basically Starscream's influence. Which I thought was pretty cool. So basically all he does is he gains a little bit of length in the nose cone section, and then the wings just kind of collapse a little bit. So scale is almost identical. He's just kind of a bit more ergonomic. So that's simple. And now finally let's get on to the robot mode. What you want to do is start down here. Untab this entire plank from the assembly that was in. You can see there are these two posts that go into these two ports right there. Take the bug head, extend it on that strut, and then you're going to have to kind of accordion this. And this whole assembly is going to collapse. You want to try to get this post right here where the ball joint for the neck is through that. So let me see if I can do that on camera. Again, you want to get a bunch of stuff out of the way. Kind of have to finagle things a little bit. There we go. You want those two rivets to line up. Push this back, and then using this hinge assembly, just lift the bug head up like so, and just get that out of the way for now. What you want to do is come down here, push down on these thrusters, and that'll release the arms. They're just kind of tucked in there. And then back here, just take the weapon, set it off to the side. It's not a recall video if the camera doesn't fly backwards. Now, as you can see down here, they have a rub sign like it was like they had from the 80s all the way up to the late 90s, I believe, early 2000s. And, it would change color based off of the off of body heat and stuff like that. And it would show the faction symbol, so as you can see, Predacon. Anyway, moving back up to this. Right here, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but right here you want to make sure that this plank is as pushed forward as you can with this black piece, and then angle the bug head to just kind of sit flush with the body. Then you just take the back of the arms or the back assembly, just push it like that, and that's about where you want the head and neck assembly. Then just take the arm struts, bring them up. They don't tap into place anywhere, they just kind of rest in that area. Take the bug legs, there's a port and a post. They just snap into place. The wings, there's a lot of things you can do with the wings. The thing that I always like to do is just kind of return them to their bug configuration, just slightly overlapped, like so. And this one doesn't like to click in, but it's okay. It's okay. Like that. And then as for the bug limbs, there's a lot of things you can do with those as well. I just kind of fold them up like so for these top ones. For these bottom ones, I just bring them down to the back. The bug legs do tend to get in the way a lot, but it's manageable. Just straighten out the arms. There you go. These joints are still amazingly tight for such an old figure. There we go. And there you pretty much have Transmetal Waspinator in his robot mode. And it's pretty good. It matches up pretty closely to, I mean, it hits all the design cues from the original Waspinator. At least the CG model, you know, what is happening here? There we go. There we go. Hits all the design cues from the original Waspinator, you know, the big bug chest, like iconically, the multifaceted eyes, little antenna, the mouth parts. Let's get a look at that head sculpt, actually. Yeah, that's actually a pretty sweet head sculpt. It does have light piped eyes. Unfortunately, these are painted over. In the original version, they were not, fortunately. Yeah, he's a pretty cool figure. Now, as for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you have a lot of range of movement with it. He can look down that far, up about that far, left, right. Arms, let's see if I can aim the camera up without actually knocking the camera over. There we go. Arms are on a rotation. They are on a hinge. I can extend it out that far. Rotation here, and a very, very deep elbow bend. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. Hips are on a ball joint, but it's kind of limited because of all the junk that's in the way. There is a thigh rotation right here. Knees have a good range of movement if you could manage it. There we go, see? 90 degrees of movement. But the joints are so stiff and there's all kinds of other stuff in the way that you don't really get a lot of posing out of them. Yeah. And then, of course, he does come with his stinger. There we go. If I can get it to zoom. There we go. And yeah, it just kind of fits right in his hand, like so. There you go. Now, as per comparison, Battlemaster, current mainline deluxe. As you see, he scales pretty well in, excuse me, as in robot mode with deluxes. Feels about the same weight too. And then finally, Voyager Starscream. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, almost forgot. How could I possibly forget? Yeah. Anyway. So there you have it. There's the Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal Waspinator, the Fox Kids repaint. And for a figure from its time, it holds up pretty well, but as of the modern engineering and stuff like that, it wouldn't pass for today. But I mean, it still holds a special place in my heart. You know, I had the original color of this figure when it first came out. And you know, he looks good on my with my other Waspinators that I have. So might stick out like a yellow sore thumb, but each Waspinator is different. So who am I to judge? So anyway, that has been the review. This has been Ray Recall. You have been awesome. And I will see you all in the next review. So take care.